Hey everyone, it's Annie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be giving you guys my top tips for using up your products. So I've gone through so many project use it ups over the years, one for every season for the almost 2 years I've been doing this. So I've come up with a lot of tips and tricks over the years for using products you don't really love, products that are getting kind of old, or just products that you kind of want to push out of the collection. So if that sounds like something you guys are interested in, let's go ahead and jump right on into the video. All right, so I figure we'll go over scrubs first. So first and foremost, as with any product you're trying to finish, you have to use the product and you have to use a good amount of the product. Not so much so to where like if you dip into a tub of scrub, half of it falls on the shower floor before you actually like use it on your body, because that's just wasteful. That's literally like throwing your money down the drain, which doesn't help anybody. But using it and using it consistently. So I personally use a body scrub every other day. I feel like that's a good enough window between scrubs that it's not agitating my skin. If it's a little bit more of an abrasive scrub, like an Onyx bathhouse, for example, I thought that's what I was holding with. This is a Dove. If it's like an Onyx bathhouse, I'll use that like twice a week because it's a little bit too much to use every other day. But like a Tree Hut, a Dove you could honestly probably use every day, but I like the consistency of every other day. And with that, if I use like a Tree Hut scrub every other day, within 2 weeks, the tub is gone. So I can comfortably go through 2 tubs a month. 3 if they're like smaller tubs or if like less full or whatever. But like honestly, consistency is key. Using the product, enjoying the product, using it for its intended purpose, or maybe you want to use it as a hand scrub if you've got really dry hands, or just like your hands get kind of grubby, you need that extra little bit of exfoliant. Using them as hand scrubs, using them as daily foot scrubs as well. If you have dry feet, I personally have like the sweatiest feet known to man, so I don't tend to like need to extra scrub my feet because they're so hydrated. It's fun. But if you have like dry feet, or just like especially dry knees or elbows, areas that maybe get a little extra dry, I love to scrub like my armpits. It gets that little extra bit of deodorant off. So I might do my armpits every single day. But just like finding those areas that maybe need an extra scrub, scrubbing those daily, using it as a hand scrub, just those extra little ways to use it, and you'll be flying through your scrubs in no time. So then up next, we're gonna go over body wash. So first and foremost, again, if you use a good solid amount of body wash when you use it, you'll fly through it more quickly. I've noticed when I'm talking, I need a little prop. So I just have all these like mini products next to me that it's just like, it's working for me. It's working for me. But if you use a good amount, like I have a scrub brush. It's about the size of my palm. I would go get it, but it's pretty grubby from the shower, so you guys don't want to see it right now. But I coat the entire top in product. Like there's a good solid layer of product, and then I'll like run it under the water to start sudsing it up, not to rinse off the product, just to start sudsing it up. And that lasts my entire body. I get a good, nice clean from it, but I also get like a really good fun scent, especially if it's scented like this one. It's really good and fun that way. I also double wash. So more often than not, I'll go in with like a Dove, a nice hydrating, good body wash first, and I'll do my entire body. I'll like coat the scrub brush, do my entire body. And then after that, I'll go in with a fun scented product, a Bath and Body Works, something that's a little bit more fun, but maybe not necessarily as moisturizing as a Dove. And I'll coat the scrub brush and do my entire body a second time. So that way I can get like the fun fragrance, but I still got the hydration from the Dove. And my skin isn't super sensitive, so I am able to do that. If you have more sensitive skin, of course, that might be a little bit different. It might be too much wash for you. You might just want to do a single wash. But also, I absolutely love using like more gel type body washes as bubble bath. And I know you guys have heard me say this a million times because I talk about it in like every single video, but like the Bath and Body Works are some of the best for like bubble baths. It's fantastic. You get that beautiful scent, but you also get nice fun bubbles. It's great. And like the way I use them, because I love a ton of bubbles, one Bath and Body Works body wash will be like 3 baths for me. So that's like flying through those things like crazy if one of those is gone in 3 baths. If I take, baths fairly regularly, sometimes, we only take them every so often. Sometimes I want to take them every day of the week. Some weeks are just like that. But using them as baths, using a good amount of product, double washing, those are like my top 3 tips. If you do those, any version of those, like your body washes are gonna be gone in no time. All right, so moving on to lotions. So I've got so many fun tips for lotions because for the longest time, I was like, just use it on your body, use it once a day, and my bottles would last like a month each. And it's like, I would literally never finish anything because I was only using it like the tiniest amount. Like I'll give you an example of how much I would use. Like that would be for my legs. That's like nothing. That's like for an arm or for a leg amount. And now I've got to rub this in. Hold please. But now that I've actually I have a decent amount of lotions, I want to make sure I'm using them up in a timely manner before they start to go bad, sort of a thing. I've started just using more. Just using more in general will always work for you. But 2, especially fall, winter, I double lotion. So I always start with my legs and then do my torso and then my arms. It's just like my routine. So I'll do my legs, torso, arms, kind of let that soak in for a little bit, like 5 minutes tops. And then I'll go back in and do legs, torso, arms again. So just literally double lotioning. I'm getting all of the hydration from the lotion, but I'm not putting on so much that I feel sticky and greasy and gross because it's soaking in between coats, essentially. I don't do more than 2 because any more than 2 is then I start to feel sticky and greasy. So just using your products, double layering if you can. Also using it as shaving cream. That is like my favorite thing right now, is to use a lotion as a shaving cream because I use a lot of shaving cream first and foremost. I shave my legs at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, and I shave my arms about every other week just because I like the feeling of shaved arms. I like the way it feels. So that's that's several times just using it as shaving cream. And when you use it as shaving cream, you use more product because you want to be able to see it on the skin to see where to shave. Like if it were a shaving foam, you can see where the foam is. This is in a similar sense to that, but just obviously it's not foam, it's just a cream. But I've been loving using it that way. I find I fly through the product so much more quickly, but I'm still using it in a way that doesn't feel wasteful. Like it's serving a purpose, it's getting used, I'm enjoying it, and it's very useful that way. And then the last way I tend to use it is as an in-shower lotion. And anytime I say that, I get a bunch of comments on how I use it as an in-shower lotion. So I figured I'd give you guys a little quick step-by-step. So the first thing I'll do, this is after I've washed my body. So it's like the last step in my shower, is I'll get my lotion and I'll squeeze just a significant amount onto my hands. And then I'll just kind of coat my body in lotion and let it sit for 30 seconds, a minute, maybe longer if I feel like it, but usually 30 seconds to a minute is my max because then I start to get a little cold and want to rinse it off because I am one of the coldest people alive. I'm always cold. So that's what works for me. But then I'll go under the water and just rinse it off. I won't scrub to get every last bit off. There might be little remnants on my skin. And then once I get out of the water, I pat dry. That'll remove any more excess lotion without removing all of the lotion. And it just kind of gives that little extra bit of hydration. It's a fantastic way to use lotion in the summertime because you're not left with the heavy greasiness that lotion can sometimes feel like on a very hot day, but you're still getting the hydration of the product. So that's how I use it as an in-shower lotion. So just in case you guys were curious, but definitely use a decent amount, use it for shaving, and use it in shower are the 3 best ways that I use my lotion. And that's how I've used that's how I finish all of them. All right, so moving on to fine fragrance mists. And then after this, we'll get into like perfumes. I've got them separated because I use them a little bit differently. So fine fragrance mists, first and foremost, spray to your heart's content. Like spray like you've never sprayed before, with the exception of if it's like a pumpkin pecan waffles where it's like obscenely strong, then you might have to like hold off a little bit. But for the most part, body mists last 6 to 8 hours. Less so if it's like maybe a cheaper body mist, but approximately 6 to 8 hours is what you'll get from a scent of a body mist. So if you spray just like, 10 spritzes for your body, that'll be gone in like 15 minutes. Like it's not gonna last, no one's gonna be able to smell it. If you spray 50, for example, sounds like a crazy number, but if you do like 50 sprays, that's gonna last you a good while. If you do 100 sprays, that's gonna last even longer. One thing I personally like to do is if I work early the next morning, some days I work 4 a.m., some days I work 7 a.m. So if I have to get up super early, I don't wanna put on my mist because my husband's asleep in this room and I'm in the next room getting ready. So I don't wanna do all those spritzes in case it like wakes him up. I'm crazy like that. So I'll spray my clothes the night before. And because I know it's gonna be soaking into the clothes for several hours before I get up and put them on and then wear them for 8 hours at work, I spray like a mad woman. I spray until the clothes are damp. Not like damp and gross, but just like damp to the touch, but they smell really good. And then the next morning when I put them on, I can still smell the mist. So I'm using it, I'm enjoying it, I'm using it in a way that just like works for me in that sense, but also just like in general, spraying like crazy. That's the only way you're gonna finish a mist is if you spray it like crazy because it is a lighter scent just by nature. That's what it is. It's a mist, it's not a perfume. So that's like biggest tip right there is just use it. Just use it. Use it to your heart's content, but just in general, like that's the only way you're gonna finish it. I also like to use them as room sprays. If it's maybe a scent that I'm not like 1,000% happy with on me personally, I'll use it as a room spray. I can go through an 8-ounce bottle of mist in like 2 to 3 uses as a room spray rather than, 2 months worth of use on my body. If it's not something like I'm not gonna overspray, it's gonna take me forever, which is why Into the Night is still kicking around in my collection. Spoiler alert, Into the Night's still kicking around because I don't love it, because I underspray it. But ultimately, if it's something I'm not 1,000% happy with, using it as a room spray works that out of my collection. I still get to enjoy the scent, but I don't personally smell like it, and I run through it really stinking quickly. So I'd say use it as a room spray, overspray as much as you can, and like spraying your clothes overnight, spraying them till they're damp, just spraying them especially will also make the scent last longer because it's soaking into fabric rather than resting on skin, but like you use so much more that way. All right, so then last but not least, we're gonna go over perfumes. And I wanna just apologize. I swear there was sun an hour ago, but I think we're heading into some rain. So it's very, very dark, very, very overcast. So I hope you can still see everything okay. But perfumes. So this is probably the product I've learned the most about over the past like year and a half, because I would literally do like 1 spray per wrist, 1 spray behind each ear, and then like a spray on my chest. And that's where I would call it 5 spritzes. That's all I would do because I was so convinced that every single perfume was just like the strongest thing in the world. And I didn't want to smell like crazy overpowering, like you could smell me from across the building kind of a thing. But then I realized, 1, using a perfume like that, you're never gonna finish it up. Literally never going to. But also, it doesn't last that long. Like no one can smell it when you only use like the little tiniest bit. I couldn't even smell it on myself using that little tiniest bit. So what I do now, and it depends on the strength of the perfume, but with my weaker perfumes, I do 4 spritzes on the wrist, 4 spritzes on the inner elbow, same on, the other side. So that's 16 right there, 3 to 4 behind each ear, and then 5 to 8 across like my torso. That's about 30 spritzes, which sounds crazy, but that's, like I said, what I do with like my weakest perfumes. As the perfume gets stronger, the fewer spritzes I'll do. Like this will be like 3, this will be like 2. Same on each side, like 2 behind the ear and then like 5 across the chest. That's just like about what works for me. But in doing that switch from 5 to 30, I've seen massive perfume dents that I literally never would have seen had I not started doing it this way. But like, I own a ton of TJ Maxx perfumes, a ton of Target perfumes, a ton of inexpensive perfumes that tend to not be as strong as, say, Billie Eilish perfume or Ariana Grande or Burberry Goddess. Like, my more special fancy perfumes are a bit stronger because they're a little bit more expensive, a little bit more, you know, a little bit more fragrance to alcohol ratio. But if you own a ton of like expensive perfumes that you don't want to overspray, I completely understand. This is just me working with my collection and my experience, just, you know, passing my wisdom on to you. All right, you guys, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave me a like and a comment below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.